Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
All right, baby, welcome to the Gridiron. If you give this video a thumbs up or share this video, that would be absolutely freaking awesome. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live, if I put a video out, you'll be notified. It's free of charge. It's free of charge. What have you got to lose, right? But if you're subscribed, thank you. Also, in the description box below, the very top link. If you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. And also, a little ways down in the description box, there's a link that takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,200 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I have internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365. We said we have over 9,200 members in the group. It's growing all the time. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right. Well, turn the page. All right, we turn the page. If you've seen the Lions, every game is different, all that stuff. Anyway, but I'll tell you what, you've seen the Lions Seahawks game. That rather entertaining. Rather entertaining. The Seahawks have seem like a little bit of a disability on the defensive side. Goff went 18 for 18. Not too bad, right? And he didn't even. And Campbell didn't. Campbell said he didn't know. He said he knew he had a good game. Didn't know he was perfect. Or else I guess he probably would have gave him the game ball. But I don't know who he gave the game ball to. But it wasn't Goff. It wasn't Jared Goff. But the Seahawks, their defense is a little challenged. However, on the offensive side, Geno looked good. Really looked good. The Giants, as we turn the page, start looking toward the Seahawks, we're going to need to get some pressure on Geno. We don't want him standing in the pocket too long. They have 2 good running backs, Chardonnay and Walker. I mean, Walker. Man, the one touchdown he scored was just handed it to him and he got caught up in the middle. All of a sudden, he just bounced outside. And he just took off toward the right hand side and snuck in to corner it in. Man, you gotta defend the field with that guy. Let me tell you what. But then, you're talking about Walker, but also you're talking about Njigba, Lockett, Metcalf. That's a heck of a trio of wide receivers right there. The defense definitely has their hands. We got a young secondary, right? So we're playing in the home of the 12th man. It's not going to be easy. Now hopefully we should be able to move the ball. Hopefully score some points. Hopefully score some touchdowns because Seattle. Geno. Not sure if he had, but let's take a look, shall we? I know he had close to 400 yards passing. Let's go Seahawks, Lions. Let's see. Can I click on it there? What about this game? Geno Smith. Yeah, 395 yards. He only had 1 touchdown, but Walker, the third, he had 3 rushing touchdowns. He was 38 out of 56, which obviously is not a recipe for success. You don't want to have to, let's throw the ball 50. That's not a recipe for success. But, they got the offensive weapons. So the Giants are going to have their hands cut out for them. The defense is really going to have to step it up here. Really, really gonna have to step it up without question. We're gonna need our pass rush. If the pass rush is ever going to show up, hopefully it's in this game, because you don't want, with our young secondary back there, not that they were unbelievably horrible, but with those trio of wide receivers running around out there, that's just asking for disaster. So the Seahawks obviously open up as the home favorite. Obviously, I think it was like a 5.5 point favorite. Not bad. They said, I'm looking at a couple articles here. The Seahawks defense looked outmanned and overmatched against the Lions with poor tackling and coverage. Says the litany of injuries didn't help. However, that's no excuse for letting Jared Goff throw a perfect game with no incompletions, 18 out of 18. Let's see. Seahawks will look to bounce back from their first loss of the season in Week 5. So, they were undefeated, too. Let's see. Seattle's, here, I saw a 5.5 point favorite. I also see here there's a 6 point favorite. Seahawks did put up a valiant offensive effort against the Lions, but primarily were done in the absence of 5 injured starters. They also lost safety Julian Love. He had a thigh. It says here quadricep injury. So we'll have to wait and see. Does that keep him out against the Giants? Because J Love with special sauce, you can put that freaking guy anywhere in secondary. So we'll have to, that's something you have to keep an eye on too. Right. Let's see. In their third home game of the season, the Seahawks will get another winnable matchup against a seemingly inferior opponent. They opened up the schedule against Denver, and after winning at New England, and they easily handled the Dolphins. To be considered a playoff team, though, Seattle must beat who it has to beat. Handling the ultra-potent Detroit offense is a major challenge for any defense. This week, the Seahawks get a reprieve against New York, which is only exciting rookie Malik Nabers as a notable offensive playmaker. To stay in this game and have a puncher's chance of pulling off an upset, the Giants will rely on their pass rush, hopefully, to slow down a former backup quarterback for the team. Oh, yeah, so, Geno's going to have a little chip on his shoulder, although that was obviously, quite a few years ago. Of course, Geno's the answer to that Trivial Pursuit question, right? Who's the one that took, that ended the Eli Manning streak? Well, it really wasn't Geno Smith. It was Ben Ding Dong McAdoo. He's basically the one, but Geno Smith was the quarterback. We lost to the Raiders 24-17, 21-17, something like that. So, Geno Smith didn't play that horrible, but he was not the answer, and it certainly was not worth ending Eli's streak, but it is what it is. Daniel Jones will have to show that he can make plays against a tough Seattle pass defense when he cannot find Nabers open. Giants versus Seahawks predictions and best bets. Yeah. Let's see. They talk about here, Metcalf and Lockett are viable anytime TD prop plays. The Seahawks rank 22nd in rushing yards allowed to running backs. Be sure to check on the prop yardage for Singletary, who is averaging 55.3 yards per game and should be able to surpass that number in this matchup. Well, then again, we were kind of hoping he would have surpassed that in the game against the Cowboys, because the Cowboys had, if not the worst, one of the worst, statistical rushing defenses against the run when they played the Giants on Thursday. And we ran the ball 24 times, 26 yards. Pathetic. Says here, Seattle will move the ball well enough to position Walker as a prime prop play to go over 75 yards rushing and score more than one TD. The Giants have allowed 5 TD receptions to wide receivers, which ranks 27th in the NFL. Well, I mean, that's one of the things, with the young secondary, you're going to have, boo-boos, you're going to have mistakes, you're going to have problems, you're going to have issues. And the one, was it the touchdown pass the play to CeeDee Lamb on Thursday? That was a prime issue of that. So you're going to have issues with a young secondary. Now, hopefully, as I said, how young Banks is, but then you got Newman back there. You got Belton, he's young back there. You got, Phillips is in there. Flott's only in his 3rd season. We got a lot of young guys there. So, it would be nice if, get a Dory Jackson in there more, have some type of experience in there, but let's see here. FanDuel is the best odds for the Giants. Wow. Huh. The over-under is 43.5. Well, I'll have to wait and see. A lot of this article just talks about betting. Yeah, of course, here. Seattle's won 6 of the past 7 matchups. In Week 4 of the 2023 season, the visiting Seahawks routed the Giants 24-3 as Witherspoon returned an interception, 97 yards for a touchdown. And Seattle tied a team record with 11 sacks. That game was just absolute. That was one of the many jokes of this. It was just really, really unwatchable. Now, of course, also it was 24-3. But, of course, there was that, obviously, that we just talking about the pick 6 right there. Daniel Jones kind of staring down the receiver, getting the ball, All right. I can't remember who he was trying to throw it to. But whoever it was, he was locked on him. He got the ball. He turned and looked. Look, all right, turn around. You're looking at me. All right, you got me. Okay, I'm throwing the ball to you. Okay, you ready? All right, here it comes. I'm right at you. Here it comes. There it goes. And there it goes. 97 yards the other way for a pick 6. How did that happen? So, just one of the unwatchable things. A lot of things that you keep hearing, right, is that obviously we were 1-3 last year. We're once again shocking 1-3 this year, but last year, some of those games were just, and if it wasn't for the epic comeback, the monumental comeback that we had against the Cardinals, we would have been 0-4, right? But those games, we just weren't even in the contest in some of those games. And then I think someone said that we played. I think it was in Week 5, 2-3 New York Giants. We played the Miami Dolphins in Week 5, I think. Right? Yeah. So we played the Dolphins. So we wound up 1-4, and then somehow we went on the road against the Bills, and we should have won that game. Should have won that game. There was. There were so many things. A couple of plays here and there. The Giants could have easily won a couple more games. Easily. That Buffalo game is a prime example. But just talking about the beginning of the season, we lost obviously 40-0 to the Cowboys. We had an epic comeback against the Cardinals. But the game against the Cowboys, we weren't even in. It wasn't even a contest. The game against the 49ers wasn't even a contest. Then we lost to Seattle. We had 248 yards of offense. They only had 281. But, we had 3 turnovers. They didn't have any. They had all those sacks. Right? It was just a horrible game to watch. Horrible. Then again, and it said in Week 5, we played the Dolphins. And we had the 1 touchdown, but that was Pinnock's interception return for a touchdown. Other than that, it was 31-16. That was at least a 10-point play right there, right? If Tua doesn't throw the interception, I'm glad he did, but they would have had at least a field goal out of that. So, that was at least a 10-point swing right there. It easily could have been 34-9. Right, if he did. So, I mean, the offense didn't score a touchdown there either. Right, it was just hard to watch. I mean, you figure against the Bills, we scored 9 points. Buffalo against the week before that last year against the Dolphins, we didn't score an offensive touchdown. The week before that, we scored 3 points against the Seahawks, who didn't score a touchdown. Against the Cowboys, we didn't score a touchdown. It's just horrible. So even though this year we're 1-3, it's hard to get excited about a 1-3 team, but I mean, it definitely feels like there's been some improvement over last year. Now, last year we played the Cowboys week 1, got blown out 40-0. We weren't even in that game. We're not even in the conversation. It was just ungodly. This year, it was a little bit of a different story. Hey, if we actually had a kicker against the Commanders, we could have possibly won that game. Maybe Malik Nabers catches the ball, right, on 4th down. Possibly we win that game. We possibly could have won that game against the Commanders without having a kicker, right? So it does feel, a little bit different this year. A little bit different. Now, is there going to be a point in time where we start, turning the page, start winning some of these games that we're in? Time will tell. But it does have a little bit different feeling than it did last year. Last year we were 1-3, and it just felt like we were just like, all right, well, let's see, where in the top 5 are we going to be drafting? That's about all it felt like. This year, it does feel like a play here, a play there. If we actually had a kicker one week, I know woulda, coulda, shoulda. As Parcells said, you're only as good as your record. Your record says what you are what your record is, all that stuff. But, close to being 3-1. Yeah, so.